So you're thinking about moving to California. Maybe you're dreaming about the beaches, the sunshine, the perfect weather, Hollywood, and so much more. But let me stop you right there. Before you pack your bags, you need to know the real California. And yes, I'm talking about the high cost of living, ridiculous taxes, earthquakes, and some of the worst traffic in the country. In this video, I'm going to discuss the top reasons why some people regret moving to the state of California and why thousands of people are leaving the great state of California. If you're new to the channel, my name is Richard Soto, a local real estate broker right here in the great state of California, and we do weekly videos discussing what it's like to live, work, and play throughout this great state. So without further ado, let's get right into it, guys, starting with the number one reason, in my opinion anyways, and that is going to be the very high cost of living. Let's start with gas prices. California gas is usually $1 to $2 higher per gallon than the national average. In regards to housing, the median home price in California is well over $750,000, which is double the national average. Moving on to rent prices, a tiny one-bedroom apartment in San Francisco or LA is going to run you easily around $3,000 a month. So if you want to live frugal, or maybe you're planning for retirement eventually, California might not be the ideal place to call home because everything is going to cost much more, or pretty much everything is going to cost much more than the national average, whether it's housing, going out to eat. Guys, you can't even go many places without having to pay for parking, which is absurd. So if you're trying to keep your costs down on a day-to-day basis, you might as well remove California from your list. Moving on to the second item, and that is going to be the ridiculous amount of taxes that you have to pay in California, especially if you're coming from states such as Texas or Florida. California is outrageous when it comes to taxes. California is home to some of the highest taxes in the country, and if you're making good money, prepare to pay a big chunk of it to the state. In regards to state income tax, California has the highest in the country, up to 13.3% for high earners. Sales tax, the base rate is going to run you around 7.25%, but some areas like Los Angeles and San Francisco push it over 10%. Property taxes, they may seem low, but with million-dollar home prices, you're still paying a fortune. So just right off the bat, an extremely high cost of living. In addition to that, as much as you're going to work and earn that money, you're going to be given a big chunk of it away to the state of California. Now, let's move on to number three. And that's going to be traffic. There's going to be traffic morning, noon, and night. It doesn't matter. So if you're in a hurry, prepare to just slow down and breathe, because you're going to be very agitated, very aggravated, and upset as a common commute that typically would take 10 to 15 minutes is easily going to double in time. So if you thought LA traffic is something you just saw in the movies, think again, it's even worse in real life. In some parts of LA, a 10-mile drive can take an hour, which is ridiculous. Bay Area freeways are always backed up. While there is public transportation, it's not great unless you live in major downtown areas. As you can see thus far, California is definitely not the perfect place to call home. While it is beautiful and the weather is perfect pretty much year-round, it definitely has its drawbacks. Now, let's move on to number four, and that is going to be crime and the homeless issue. This is a real problem in California. The homeless crisis is out of control, and it's something you can't ignore. Los Angeles alone has over 70,000 homeless people. San Francisco, homelessness, drug use, and crime have recently skyrocketed. Businesses are also leaving cities because crime and theft is so bad. Depending on the area that you reside, you might not see it on a daily basis, but don't worry, once you start traveling into the major cities in different parts of the state, you're definitely going to be dealing with a large homeless population, a lot of drug use, and crime. So something you might want to consider, whether you're single or have a family, There's definitely some concerning items when residing in California. Now, let's move on to number 5, which is going to be natural disasters, whether it's earthquakes, wildfires, or droughts. There's always going to be an issue with the weather throughout the state of California, even though I believe it has the best weather in the world in regards to Southern California anyways. However, natural disasters are definitely prominent in the state of California. California sits on multiple major fault lines which cause earthquakes throughout the state. Every summer, huge areas burn down, sometimes near major cities. Water restrictions and dry conditions are normal here. So if you dislike extreme weather, California, once again, might not be the ideal place to call home. Moving on to the next topic, and that is that California's job market isn't what you would expect. You've probably heard that California has some of the best job opportunities in the country: Silicon Valley, Hollywood, biotech, you name it. But here's the problem. Tech companies are laying people off in huge numbers. Big names like Google, Meta, and Amazon have all made massive cuts, and many of these companies have also relocated to other states. Hollywood jobs aren't as stable as they used to be. Streaming services have changed the industry, and strikes have slowed things down. Small businesses are struggling. High taxes and strict regulations make it difficult for startups to survive. So while you might find a very lucrative, high-paying tech job, don't be confused. Those jobs are not easy to come by. So if you're looking for employment, yes, you can definitely find some employment opportunities throughout the state of California. But if you think it's going to be fast and easy and you're going to have a lot of additional income, that's probably not going to be the case. Once again, every situation is different. However, job opportunities aren't what they used to be. Moving on to number 7, and that is going to be strict laws and regulations. While some of the rules do make common sense, a lot of them just don't make any common sense whatsoever, and it can be very frustrating. Strict business regulations make it tough for entrepreneurs to succeed. Rent control laws can make it hard for property owners to keep up with maintenance. Gun laws, vehicle laws, and even plastic straw bans. California has a law for just about everything. So if you enjoy freedom and flexibility, California might not be the best choice for you. Moving on to the next topic, and that is going to be that not everyone loves the laid-back California culture. Culture shock is real. If you're moving from the South, Midwest, or even Texas, California's lifestyle might not be for you. People can be a bit cold. In many parts of California, especially LA, people tend to be more status-driven and less friendly than other states. The fast-paced, high-pressure lifestyle can be overwhelming. California leans heavily in one direction, and if you have different views, you might feel out of place. I'm not saying you won't find exceptional, kind, wonderful, generous people in California. However, just something to think about, especially if you might have different political views. I'm just saying, something you might want to consider. Now, let's move on to the next topic, which is the education system is failing. So if you have children like myself, and education is of top priority, and you're just too frugal, cheap, call it whatever you want to, and you don't want to pay for private school, you might have some concerns. So if you have children, you should know that California's public schools aren't exactly top tier. Overcrowded classrooms, some schools have 30 to 40 students per teacher, low rankings in math and reading scores. Tons of parents opt for private schools, which are insanely expensive. So before you purchase or rent that home in that particular neighborhood, subdivision, area of town, make sure you do your due diligence and you're zoned to the proper public ISD. And of course, you could always call our office. You have a friend right here in the great state of California that can assist you. Now, while you might not believe it, and if you reside in California, you most likely believe and feel that California is the best state in the country. And you know what? We'll cover that, my opinion, here at the end. But I get it. So if it's hard to believe that so many people are moving out of the great state of California, believe it, because it's a fact. Everyone thinks people are moving to California, but the truth is people are actually leaving in huge numbers. In 2021 alone, over 350,000 people left California. Top destinations were Texas, Arizona, Nevada, and Florida. The main reasons people have left the great state of California have been the cost of living, taxes, and overall quality of life. So we've discussed several of the reasons why people are leaving California or why they regret moving to California to begin with. So the big question is California still an ideal place to call home? And should you and your family relocate to the great state of California? Let's break it down. Move to California if you have a high-paying job lined up that justifies the cost of living. You love the beach, mountains, and outdoor activities. You can handle the traffic, taxes, and regulations. Don't move to California if you're looking to retire, save money, and build wealth. You want an affordable housing at a lower cost of living. You prefer less government regulations and lower taxes. California can be an exceptional place to call home. However, for others, it can be a financial disaster. Guys, I love the great state of California. Quite frankly, there isn't a more beautiful place to reside and call home. I love the California lifestyle. And while there is extreme weather, Southern California has some of the best weather in the world. It's perfect. I absolutely love it. And when you move from other parts of the country, whether it's Florida or Texas, where it's unbearably hot, I mean humid, and you feel like you're in a sauna, California is an exceptional place to call home. I love the mountains, the beach, the hills. Everything to me in California is perfect. However, you're going to have to pay for that beautiful sunshine. You're going to have to pay to view the beautiful landscape on a daily basis. So if you can afford living in California, I highly recommend it. It's going to be very, very hard to beat. Now, can you live in parts of California that aren't as expensive? Absolutely. There are going to be numerous locations throughout the state where you don't have to spend $1 million on a starter home. However, if you want to be in a major city, close to activities, things to do, and just enjoy life on a daily basis, at least for myself and my family, the state of California is going to be very, very expensive. So those are just my 2 cents, guys. If you're thinking about moving to California, whether it's Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, throughout the state, my team and I would love to assist you with your next real estate transaction. Whether you're looking to purchase or lease, we're here to assist you, and we look forward to talking to you soon.